Welcome to Mr. English Hub, the place where we take the deep dive into the language that truly matters. I'm Paul, and I'm ready to unpack a dense stack of sources today.
And I'm Rachel, and today we're moving beyond just, vocabulary lists. We want to understand how language really shapes our reality.
Exactly. Today's topic is daily routines.
Which sounds simple enough on the surface.
Right, but our sources, they show this really interesting duality. First, there's the language side, the actual words and phrases you need.
The toolkit, basically, getting that precision to describe your habits clearly, confidently.
And then the second part, which is maybe even more fascinating, is the psychological power packed into those habits.
Yeah, we're looking at everything from language tutorials to these two quite different personal stories. One about real discipline and structure.
And the other about someone using routine for, well, pretty radical personal change.
So our mission today is to give you both things, the language tools and maybe some philosophical motivation too.
So you can master your daily schedule, not just in how you talk about it in English, but maybe in life itself. Let's dive in.
Okay, so when we talk about habits, routines, the present simple tense is obviously key. That's the foundation.
Right. Everyone knows the basics, hopefully. Use the base verb, add an S for he, she, it. Like, my son wakes up at 6:30.
Exactly. But let's maybe focus on what elevates your language, what makes you sound more natural, more fluent. It's often about the structure and those common phrases.
Yes. The sources really hammered this home, using multi-word phrases, those chunks of language. You don't just shower.
You take a shower or have a shower, those complete units.
So thinking about daily actions, which ones seemed most crucial?
Well, the morning routine is just full of them. It's a sequence, isn't it?
Totally. You don't just stop the noise.
You turn off your alarm.
You don't just leave bed.
You get out of bed, it's more active, and I like the specific one, splash some water on my face.
Yeah, much better than just wash your face. More vivid.
And then there were great ones for around the house, too. Things like put the kettle on or clean up the kitchen.
Mastering those phrasal verbs, that's what makes your English sound, well, lived in, authentic.
It's the rhythm of everyday life, really.
Okay, let's shift to scheduling, being precise. Because, let's face it, we rarely do things at the exact minute.
This is where simple words do heavy lifting, like the word around.
Ah, yes, Emma waking up around 7 a.m.
Exactly. It means approximately, give or take. It's not vague, it's just natural conversational flexibility.
Right, you don't sound like you're avoiding the question, you just sound like a real person.
And then there are the words for frequency. You need ways to describe how often things happen.
Like the difference between an adverb, like often meaning, many times, but not always.
Versus an adjective phrase like every morning or some evenings. They structure the week differently in the description.
And there was that one really practical structure for duration.
Oh, yes. It takes me X minutes to get there.
So useful. Using take to talk about how long something requires. How long does your commute take? It takes me 30 minutes. Simple, clear.
Immediately communicates efficiency or lack thereof.
Definitely. And before we move on, I'm glad the sources pointed out the difference between wake up and get up.
Oh, absolutely essential.
Because everyone needs those few minutes between waking up and actually getting up, right?
Totally. Wake up is just eyes open, stop sleeping.
But get up is the physical act, leaving the cozy bed behind.
We all perform both actions, so we need both verbs in English. That little buffer zone is sacred.
Okay, so we've got the language toolkit. Now let's see how it plays out in real life, or at least in these source narratives. Case study 1, Emma.
Right. Emma, the university student and English teacher, her routine is all about structure as scaffolding. It has to be.
Sounds pretty rigid, but effective. Balancing classes, studying. She's precise. Wakes up at 7 a.m. or around 7 a.m.
Quick shower, quick breakfast toast and jam. No coffee, interestingly.
And notice the language reflecting that efficiency under pressure. Breakfast is quick, dinner is simple. Pasta, soup, salad.
She actually enjoys cooking, though, finds it relaxing, but keeps it straightforward.
Her commute is either by bus or that very specific 10-minute walk. Everything seems quite measured.
And even a downtime is structured. After classes or work, straight to the gym for exactly 1 hour.
Then the evening wind down. Reading before bed around 10 or 11 p.m.
Right after checking her phone one last time. It's a very contained, very functional system, effective for managing a heavy load.
It definitely sounds effective.
Yeah.
But maybe a bit confined. Like it's great for management, but perhaps not for, say, exploration.
Which perfectly sets up our second case study, Tom.
Ah, Tom. His story is quite different.
It really is. It's about routine as a catalyst, a tool for transformation. He hit 30 and felt stuck.
Yeah, he used that metaphor, feeling like a boat just going in circles, never reaching the open sea. His life wasn't exciting.
So he didn't need more structure like Emma. He needed, well, a different kind of commitment, a shift.
And it started small, didn't it? Not some huge overhaul. He made that promise.
A simple but powerful one. I will say yes to new experiences from today. I will try one new thing every week.
He used that frequency language we talked about to anchor his intention. One new thing every week.
And the very first change, it seems so minor.
Swapping the bus for walking to work.
But that small change in his routine, it forced him into the present moment, made him pay attention.
And then the language shifts, doesn't it? It becomes about sensory detail.
Exactly. Walking, he starts noticing things, the smell from a bakery, a cat stretching in the sun, a father and daughter laughing together.
The walk stopped being just about getting from A to B. It became about observing, experiencing. That little routine change unlocked something.
And that new awareness, that bit of courage built from just walking, led him to face a bigger fear.
The social fear. Talking to Anna, the colleague he liked but was too shy to approach.
And he had that classic realization afterward.
Most of my fears were only in my head. They were like shadows.
Yeah. The fear felt huge beforehand, but acting differently, changing his routine by actually talking to her, made the fear dissolve. His actions changed his internal narrative. Tom's journey didn't stop there, though. He gained deeper insights, especially from an encounter with an older man named Samuel.
Ah, the 80-year-old man by the sea. That part was quite profound.
Samuel offered this perspective on life using the sea as a metaphor. Like the waves, sometimes life is calm, sometimes it's wild.
But it always keeps moving, that constant motion. It teaches patience, teaches strength. The routine, in a way, is that steady movement, isn't it?
It can be. And Samuel's core lesson for Tom was about listening. Really listening.
Listening to others, the world,
Yep.
and yourself.
Right. Tom realized he was always trying to control things, plan everything out. But Samuel suggested growth also needs trusting the process, letting go a bit.
That's a hard balance, isn't it? Trusting the process while still maintaining those deliberate daily habits we just talked about, like Emma's structured day.
It is a tension, and Tom had to learn to navigate it. The routine creates the container, the space for things to happen.
But the mindset, the trust, stops you from burning out or forcing it.
Exactly. And Tom immediately put this to the test by facing things that scared him, like public speaking.
Oh yeah, the source described that vividly. Heart pounding, hands shaking.
But he did it, and he learned that critical definition of courage.
Courage is not the absence of fear. It is doing something, even when fear is present.
Which ties right back to routine. Showing up daily, even on days you feel resistance or fear. That takes courage.
And then came the failure, the painting class.
Oh, the disastrous painting class. He went in expecting, what, hidden talent?
And ended up with a mess. But what struck me was how he processed it.
He went back to his original promise.
Exactly. He reminded himself, I promised to try, not to succeed. The goal wasn't instant mastery.
And the lesson from that? Failure is not the opposite of growth. It is part of growth. Your routine needs to allow for mistakes, for things not working out. That's where learning happens.
Which loops back to Samuel's wisdom about patience and self-compassion. Tom got frustrated at times, didn't he? Expected faster results.
Yes, he wanted that linear improvement, like, I'm doing the things, why isn't it happening faster?
And that's where he landed on that lovely metaphor.
The flower. You shouldn't shout at a flower to grow faster.
You give it water, sunlight, and time. You nurture it. Be kind to yourself in the process.
He realized growth is often slow, almost invisible day to day, like tree roots spreading underground. He started running just 5 minutes a day.
Wanted to run for an hour eventually.
But instead of berating himself for not being there yet, he just kept showing up for those 5 minutes, added a bit more over time. 3 months later,
He ran for the full hour.
that small, consistent daily action, built patiently, led to a huge change. No shouting required.
And the final piece seemed to be about connection, sharing the growth.
Right. He started volunteering, mentoring a shy kid named Leo, and discovered that sharing his own journey, his own small acts of courage,
Could spark courage in someone else. Our courage can inspire someone else's courage. It created this positive ripple effect.
So let's try and bring this all together for you. We've seen that routines are, well, fundamental.
They're the foundation, whether it's a highly structured routine like Emma's or a more exploratory one like Tom's.
And the language we discussed, those precise phrases like clean up the kitchen, or knowing when to say around 7 a.m., or it takes me 10 minutes, that gives you the power to describe your routine effectively.
That's the practical toolkit. But the deeper insight, I think, is that the routine itself is the framework for psychological change.
Absolutely. Real growth, the kind Tom experienced, it seems to need that commitment, that patience, forgiving yourself for failures.
And just finding the courage to show up each day, even when, your hands might be shaking a little.
Which brings us right back to where we started, linguistically speaking, the present simple tense.
The tense we use to describe what happens regularly, what is true every day.
So maybe the final thought we can leave you with today is this. You use the present simple to describe your current reality, your current routine.
Right.
How could you start, maybe slowly, deliberately using those principles? Tom learned small steps, patience, courage to rewrite that daily reality. How can you adjust your routine so the present simple starts describing the person you are growing into?
That's a challenging thought, a really inspiring one to end on.
Hopefully gives you something to reflect on.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive here at Mr. English Hub.
Keep learning, keep practicing those phrases, and maybe keep exploring your own routines.
And keep believing in yourself. We'll talk to you next time.